How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 9th of January 2022. So before I get into the analysis on Bitcoin today, please remember this isn't financial advice and everything that I discuss is for educational purposes only. So I wanted to address something because I think it's quite concerning and it's something that I feel quite strongly about. There's a lot of influencers out there and people who claim to understand the markets and know what they're talking about, who unfortunately give false information, or at least it's not a very educated opinion, on what Bitcoin is going to be doing or what Bitcoin is actually doing. And the reason that I want to do this video is not to bash on anybody. It's not my intention, but I think it's important, to make it really clear that when newcomers to the crypto space and people who have no idea, because there are a lot of people that are still coming to this space, have no idea what they're doing, and they gravitate towards these influencers who have very large followings, and they just listen to what they say, no matter what it is, and just act on that information. It's very, very dangerous. Education is something that's been lacking in this space for a very, very long time. There are some great educators out there, and going forward, I'm going to make it my goal to promote those educators, to give them as much attention as I can, because they're the ones that are truly out there trying to make a difference in this space. And unfortunately, as with any industry or any space or any sector, you're always going to have people that are trying to take advantage of others, by talking nonsense, basically, and it's a little bit unfair. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. I'll start with this premise. According to said influencers who believe, that what they say is correct, Bitcoin is, exploding to the upside. Bitcoin is bullish. Bitcoin is about to run. Bitcoin is going to these ridiculous numbers, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. And it's important that we take a step back for a second and just look at what Bitcoin is actually doing, as opposed to what everybody keeps saying it's doing, right? And we do it neutrally. We don't do it with this idea that we want Bitcoin to do what we want it to do. Yeah, Bitcoin's going to do whatever the hell it wants. Our job is to see what it's doing right now, and can we use that information, in a positive way to make a better investment or, trading decision, right? So, as you guys know by now, last year I called 45,000. When Bitcoin was all the way up here. I believed it was obvious at the time, based on my experience, and I tried to make this clear. I did many, many videos. I guided people through all of this. I got a lot of people out at 68,000, because I genuinely believed it was going to be tanking and going down and so on, because it's the common theme that occurs with Bitcoin. It is heavily manipulated. Bitcoin is massively, massively manipulated. And this is something that people really need to understand, okay? Whether it's great, whether it's going to be the world's reserve currency, whether it's going to change lives, it doesn't matter. We still have to accept that it's what the facts are. The facts are Bitcoin is heavily manipulated. So we can see that Bitcoin came up here, and all of this that I'm going to go through now is going to lead to where price is now and what could potentially be unfolding going forward, right? Price came up here and it took out the all-time high. So this was the previous all-time high. It came up and it took it out. And then we started to reverse. And it's at this moment here where we're like, okay, it's pulled back enough for it to at least start to stabilize. Unless it reverses this, at this point, unless it reverses and starts to run again and clear 70,000, it's unlikely it's going to be going up. Yeah. Doesn't mean it's going to go down, but it's unlikely it's going to go up, right? But then we start to see a little bit more of a bleed, and then we have this kind of, mini crash, I guess, whatever you want to call it. I think it's just an aggressive move to the downside, very volatile, and all it's doing is just reaching very quickly for liquidity, and it goes through all of these liquidity pools until it finally finds its way into this one right here, and we can see the reaction from this. This is not something we can make up. This is not something that didn't happen. It happened. It's right there, okay? It comes down, and it responds beautifully here. Right, and it reverses almost half that candle, then starts to grind sideways while maintaining, in this liquidity pool, and then it pops up, hits this level, okay, reverses, and then starts to slowly grind, and then it accelerates, gets below this low. And I did call this, I did, mention this, I was tweeting about this, I was talking about this in my Discord, of which, if you're not already a member of my Discord, the link is in the description below. We have a lot of fun in there, so everybody's welcome. and it takes out this low, and then we're currently sitting where we're currently sitting now. We are not exploding. It's not, wow, Bitcoin just exploded. Wow, Bitcoin just went up. Wow, boom. It's nothing. Bitcoin is literally sitting in the same place, and it has been for the last 2 days. Okay. Now, when you're looking at, say, a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart or a 15-minute chart, which for some bizarre reason seems to run rampant in this industry, then yeah, sure, you're going to see, moves that seem like they're explosive. But when you zoom out, as some, influencer, likes to tell his followers, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, well, take your own advice, zoom out. Actually look at what's going on the chart, right, and start giving proper information, so your followers are not getting themselves into trouble. Because with the moment people like that start tweeting and saying Bitcoin is bullish, Bitcoin is booming, what are people going to do that don't know what they're talking about or have no experience in this space? They're going to buy Bitcoin. And I'll tell you what could potentially happen to these people. Bitcoin is currently sitting right here now. And unless it gets back above 52,000, which is here, the potential is very high in the percentage, probably 90% chance. Unless Bitcoin gets back above here, 52,000, then it is going down here. Okay. And I'll just quickly make the notes. It's 37,000, give or take. 37,000, here we go, sorry, basically there, 37,375, and so on. The exact number's 636 if I remember, but the point is, this is where Bitcoin's probably going to head, okay? So we're not seeing this explosive move to the upside, we're not seeing Bitcoin is just pulling back in a bullish market. I genuinely want to say something that I feel has always been the case with Bitcoin. There's this general consensus that Bitcoin, could potentially be turning from a bullish Bitcoin to a bearish Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's ever been bullish. I think it's been manipulated to the point, right, where all of these moves are effectively just driving price, to get people to jump in on something that could potentially move higher. You see a lot of hype on Bitcoin. According to the news now, there was something that happened, in Kazakhstan, which caused this sell-off. Next time it will be something else, and then the time after that it will be something else. There's always something going on with Bitcoin that causes all of this. But the reality is, if you pair what's happening with Bitcoin, there will always be a precursor to it happening on the chart, always. Then the news follows. Okay. So, and my good friend Ben, over at the Swissborg DAO, who I do the smart talks with, did exactly the same thing last year when he was talking about the China news coming out of China. He called the Bitcoin flash crash way before it happened. It was obvious. He explained to everybody, in the Discord server over at Swissborg. So this is something that we can look at and see before it happens, right? So we see Bitcoin, it's sitting here right now, and we're going to wipe the slate clean and say, right, what can we expect going forward? Unless it gets back above 52,000, okay, then it's going to this level down here, okay? 37,375 or 37,376 or 363, or 363, or sorry, 636. It doesn't really matter. Basically, 37,003 to 400-ish, okay? If it starts to run higher from here, okay, there is a level right here, this consolidation, okay, that price has to get through. Then when it gets through that, and this is why it's so important, then when it gets through that, assuming it did, then it would have to get through this level here, then this level here, okay, and then it would have to hold above 52,000 and maintain this level before that bullish, so-called bullishness continues, okay? So there is a lot that Bitcoin needs to do before we see this, wow, Bitcoin is, exploding to the upside nonsense. And I want anybody that's watching this video who is new to the space, leave comments in the comment section below. Ask as many questions as you can. People who know me now know that I'm always available. I try my best to help as much as I can. I will always be neutral. I will always give you the best advice that I can. I will always tell you that it's not financial advice, to do your own due diligence, and then I will teach you how to do your own due diligence in the best way that I can. Yeah, integrity is important, and it's very, very, very lacking in this industry. Okay, this isn't about money. This isn't about making money. If you educate yourself and you understand what's happening, and you focus on being around people who genuinely care, and are also willing to give their time, to others as well, the money will take care of itself. Right? Right now, we need to make an effort to start calling people out on what they're saying. Okay. and keep things on an even keel, because there's a lot of people getting destroyed in this space, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate, and it's actually very sad to see. All right, so let's try and change some things a little bit, and be a little bit more on point in what we're talking about. And to all creators and content creators and influencers out there, we can make this a better space. We don't need to be pumping things up that we're already in so we can get out when everybody else jumps in. This is disgusting behavior. Yeah, that will dry up eventually, and then what have you got left? Nothing. We want to build a community of solid, educated people that are banding together to make this space better. The whole point of DeFi is for us to have control over our finances, not give an excuse to take this industry and regulate it to a point where nothing changes. And with that said, I wish you all the best. I hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. All the best.